Hey everyone, Andy from Singletrack magazine here, and today we're going to do an unboxing of the Motion Ride E18 linkage anti-dive suspension fork. Now, if you've been following us and the Motion Ride project, you'll have seen that we actually tested this fork last year. It was a pre-production fork. Few things have changed, and we're going to go through those changes in a second. But first, let's take a look at the box and in the box. So as you can see, we've got E18 and E18 Plus written on here. We have the E18 version of the fork, which is a 27.5 inch model. The E18 Plus is for plus wheels or 29 inch wheels. Other than that, we've got a cool little drawing of the fork, and we've got some information here about which travel fork or which color fork you've got. But we only care about what's in the box. And in the box is, ba-ba, the Motion Ride E18 in earth green, yeah. So we'll pop this out. So in the box, we've got the Motion Ride E18, pop this to the side. We have got a little box in the shape of a car, and we've got something else. And that's it. There's no instruction manual, there are no tools. That's it. Very, very simple. And the fork, although it looks very, very complicated, it is very simple too. We'll pop it down like that so you can see it a bit better. So as you can see, full black chassis. We've got carbon legs here. We've got aluminium, CNC aluminium parts here for the linkages. We've got the earth green model. So we've got green here, here, and here. And these are bearing covers. Now that's important to remember. If you've seen my previous look at these forks and my interview with Matthieu from Motion Ride, you'll know that the original fork had bushings, but they've changed to bearings, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, we've got the 150mm travel version of the Motion Ride E18, 27.5 inch wheels, as I've already mentioned. And this being a 150mm travel fork has got a offset of 44mm. Interestingly, if you look at the back of the steerer tube here, Motion Ride lists this fork as 150, 160 and 170mm, so you can get different versions. But interestingly, each one of those has got a slightly different offset. This 150 has a 44mm offset, a 150 has a 45mm offset, and a 160 has a 46mm offset. So again, a little bit different to your traditional telescopic fork, but you know, what do you expect? It looks like, you know, a grasshopper's leg. Anyway, so let's have a look at a few of the features on here. First feature is the wave. Now this is a carbon fiber composite blade. This is actually a bit different to the one that we tried in previous pre-production versions. It's actually a slightly thicker 7mm wave beam. And although it might look like it's under compression now, it's not. This is actually how Motion Ride mold these. That's their natural state. So when this fork compresses, it's actually pulling this beam flat. So yeah, although a lot of people look at this and think that this is going under compression and getting squished, it's actually being pulled straight. So this wave, is basically your spring. There's no air spring here, there's no coil spring, this is the spring. And on the bottom of it, we've got a sag adjustment. So to adjust your sag, we've got a 6mm Allen bolt here. And if you wind it anti-clockwise, you get less sag. And if you wind it clockwise, you get more sag. We've got a little adjustment indicator here. So maximum sag, minimum sag, and maintenance mode. If you put it in maintenance mode, it basically just takes all the tension off the wave, and it means you can pop it out just in case you ever need to replace it. I do believe that if you're a very, very heavy rider, you might need a thicker one. I'm not too sure about that. I have to try and remember that. But yeah, if you ever need to replace it or if you needed to do any maintenance on it, you could put it into maintenance mode and pop this out. So that's the wave, that's your spring. And on the opposite side, you've got the curve, which is your damper. Now, the curve is a really low pressure unit. It's all oil in there. It has very minimal seal, so the idea is there isn't much stiction at all, or if any, for that matter. And it's very, very simple. Again, I keep using this word simple. It looks complicated as a whole, but the damper system itself is actually really simple. And it has one adjustment, and that's this. This collar adjusts, and that's it. There's no separate rebound. There's no separate compression. It's just this one knob. Now, for the production version, things have changed a little. We've got these little lips here to help you grip the shaft when you're wearing gloves. Snigger. The original one had a sort of a grip tape feel to it, but these have got like these little ledges here. And as you can see, you can turn it There you go. It's quite firm. It's not easy to turn. I mean, it's not difficult. It's a quality feel, but it's not something you're going to knock by mistake. That's for sure. So if I wind it all the way this way, it goes into road mode. So that's the firmest setting. It shouldn't bob around. It should feel quite firm. And obviously, if you're riding to and from the trail on the road, that's the setting you want it in. If you wind it back a little bit, you can put it into high, medium, or low settings. Now those high, low, and medium settings are for when you go to the bike park. And that all depends on what kind of terrain you're hitting. So for example, if you're going to really flowy trails with big jumps, you don't really necessarily need the fork to absorb all those little pattery bumps. So you can use one of these high, low, or medium settings. You can have a play around with those. Really, really simple. Then when you're on the trail, when you're hitting the rocks, when you're hitting the natural terrain, you can go further into the trail mode. And in the trail mode, we've got slow and fast, and that's your rebound there. So basically, that's it. It's just one easy damper movement. And as you turn that, it's adjust your rebound slightly, adjust your compression slightly, but overall they're set. You know, these settings are designed by Motion Ride to give you what they believe is the best for different terrain. Now, I can't speak for this fork, but the pre-production fork worked very, very well. I didn't get to try it in the road or in the the firmer settings because we rode it in only natural terrain. But now we've got a long-term test fork. We can use it everywhere and we can give that a good going over. Another interesting feature here is we've got this little rubber indicator here, and that helps you set the sag. So although the sag is set from the wave side, you can actually measure it from the curve damper side. And already mentioned, it's a low pressure system, very little oil in here. And the idea is, even if you go to different climates, it's hotter, it's colder, different altitudes, nothing should ever change. So basically it's set and forget, unless you go somewhere else and you need to reset it and forget. Okie dokie. Other features of the Motion Ride are the bearings. So as I already mentioned, these green covers here, behind those, inside the main frame, we've got bearings. So we've got a bearing here, we have a bearing here, here, and we've got one here as well. Now, originally, Motion Ride told us, or Matthieu from Motion Ride told us that they'd be using a special material developed from something that's used in oil drilling rigs that basically never wears out, never needs lubrication, never needs maintenance. You could pressure wash it, you could do anything you want to, and it would be fine. For some reason though, for production forks, they've gone to regular bearings, which is obviously going to raise the question, is that going to change service intervals? Can you still pressure wash it? Do they need lubricating? So this is something that we need to ask Motion Ride. They're all at Sea Otter at the moment, so they're answering the emails. But we will let you all know what they say about this. And also, are these bearings serviceable at home, or will you need to send it off to a distributor to get changed? We don't know. We need to ask these questions. Right, other interesting bits and bobs. We've got a boost axle on here. This is a 15mm 110 axle. And I think this was claimed to be the lightest axle on the market when they first developed it. Whether that's still the case, I'm not too sure. So it's uses an Allen bolt there to undo. It's not quick release. We've got a standard disc brake mount here. And that's it. And at the top, we have a regular tapered steerer tube. That is the only bit on this fork which you're going to recognize from a regular fork, I guess. So that's it. That's the Motion Ride E18. If you want to buy one of these, they cost €1,690. They are available in the UK from Upgrade. I'm not entirely sure what the UK pricing is, but we will pop that up in the description below and on the website. So if you're interested in one of these, keep an eye out for our review. You can also go and check out my first ride impressions on Singletrack magazine. You can also watch my interview with Matthieu from Motion Ride as well. But keep an eye out for the full review. That's coming very soon. We're going to ride it in the dirt, the mud, the sun. We're going to pressure wash it. We're going to throw it in the canal. It's going to be great. So any questions, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.